This is Athlete Beyond for the ones chasing the dream, living it, or learning how they are after it. From college to pro to what's next, these are the stories behind the stats and the strength beyond the sport. My name is Lene Harper, and this podcast will not only tell my story, but the story of the 99%, the majority of athletes chasing their dreams and aiming for success. What's up, y'all? It's Lene Harper checking back in with you from Athlete Beyond. If you don't know, Athlete Beyond is a platform dedicated to the 99% of athletes who may struggle to transition collegiately, professionally, or beyond. Now, if you missed episode 1, when you get a chance, go back and check it out. I talked about the real transition that happens beyond the scenes. Now, let's get into it. Last episode, I talked about the real transition that no one truly talks about. Now, I'm going to talk to you about what happens next. Just because you didn't get drafted or the opportunity to be a part of something bigger does not mean that you're not qualified. Your dreams didn't necessarily end. You just have to take a different route. There are thousands of athletes who went undrafted and still played pro. That route looked more like combines, tryouts, international leagues, and constant training. The key to the shift is to create opportunities rather than waiting for them. Be your own coach. Be your own agent. It's so crucial to research teams, coaches, scouts, and most importantly, do the work on your own. Find your own opportunities. This path will take more work and more patience and more time, but it's certainly worth it. So, how do you treat yourself like a pro? Because people certainly won't. This means you build your own powerhouse. Start by building your own structure, training consistently, staying in peak shape, and most importantly, documenting your entire journey. Networking will be so important during this process. Network as much as possible. Attend any events that may help you move forward in your career. Again, you don't need a draft night to be a professional athlete. You just need one opportunity. Now, let's be honest. If you're not a sought-out elite athlete, most times coaches and teams won't even help you once graduating. I hear that story so often. So now it's time to take control of your own destiny. No matter the sports you play, no matter the level that you're on, there are so many leagues and opportunities within sports. As you can see now, this list has all of the different sports with different leagues and different opportunities for you. So never feel discouraged based on your current situation. There is always room for improvement and room for opportunity. Y'all, while I was going through my process, I only had the WNBA in the back of my mind. I thought that was the only way to be successful. But eventually, I realized that through sports, there are so many ways to be successful. Now, this part of the journey is called the invisible grind. This experience that you are going through right now, or will at some point, will capture the unseen and quiet phases right before the big shift. It's going to certainly test the type of person that you are and the type of character that you have. Who are you when no one is watching? Y'all, I felt like no one was watching me. Like I was slowly melting away. Like just drifting. I felt like my opportunities to becoming a professional athlete was slipping right before my eyes. There were athletes who didn't even get the experience I had and got drafted. There were athletes who didn't even put the work in but got opportunities due to relationships. Y'all, I even saw athletes with terrible attitudes get picked over me. And man, that truly did put me down. I started to lose confidence, but I did not let that stop me from reaching my goals. Even though I felt like all the politics made it impossible for me to grow, I didn't let my preparation stop that. After I made it through my first year of pro, I felt good, y'all. I followed up my season with the Chicago Sky. I went overseas to play ball in Israel, and while it was absolutely a blessing, it definitely had its ups and downs. During those moments, I felt so alone at times, and I also felt discouraged. Just when I felt like I was taking 2 steps forward, life pulled me back 10 steps. Now, as a pro, I didn't necessarily struggle with finding an agent, but the problem was finding a good one. Throughout my career, I worked with several agents until finding the right agent that came along. Early on, I didn't know what to do, but now I'll give you some advice to help you through this process. First and foremost, always be realistic, but stay ruthless. Whether you're in college or a current pro, ask yourself, is this truly worth it? Being honest with yourself is not a weakness, but rather a sign of wisdom. Ask yourself deep down, do you have a solid chance at playing at the professional level? Now, if you do, go for it and don't stop. Now, if you know that it's a possibility, but it's going to be a little hard to navigate, I say give it a chance, but still have a plan B, just in case. Now, you may not like this, but if you know deep down that your chances are 1 in a million, it's time to think about a career change. Again, this is not to put you down or diminish your goals. This is to help you save time and place more options in front of you because you can be successful regardless. Next, decide that you're built for more. This isn't about wins or losses. This certainly isn't about stats. This is not just about being good, but it's about being undeniable. This is how I stayed resilient throughout my entire career. I was bold. I made decisions that was certainly out of my comfort zone. Y'all, I had to do things that I did not want to do. But certainly don't let the professional leagues define you because I didn't let it define me. Only you can define your worth. And through this process, you have to continue to grind. I know we could be anxious and waiting for the next opportunity, but you got to stay ready. You got to let that opportunity come to you. Even with all the adversity I've faced, I've never let any missed opportunity put me down. I would just create my own pathway. I learned early on that having too much pride or too much ego can hinder your path to success. Now, if you're going to have to do some things that you don't want to do, but trust me, it will help you in the long run. All right, so at this point in your career, it's all about being the negotiator. The world will always have talented athletes, but we need more of those unstoppable athletes who won't fold, and that athlete would be you. So, while being realistic and creating your own pathway, next, it's important not to settle while feeling uncertain. I used to struggle so much with this because I thought that every opportunity presented to me was for me. But sometimes that could just be a test of your faith. And as athletes, being good is just the enemy of great, and settling is just a silent surrender. And you definitely wasn't built to tap out early. Y'all, I settled sometimes because I thought I wasn't worth it. It took me time to realize that it's so important for me to stand up for myself and use my own voice to get what I deserved in the end. Once demanding what I wanted, y'all, I became so happy because trust me, when transitioning from college to the professional sports, you will go through this roller coaster of falling in and out of love with the game. But you have to think about all the good memories to get you back on track. Now, when it comes to coaches, agents, managers, most will do what will benefit them most. But there are individuals out there who want to see you thrive and put you in the best positions to be successful. And at the end of the day, business is business. So make sure you're benefiting too. So in the end, treat yourself like the pro that you are and set the standard, because if you don't, no one else will. When I was going through this phase of being undrafted, I always allowed my agents to make whatever decisions for me. But if I can go back in time, I would have demanded what I wanted and needed to go through that process. Even while I was in training camp for the Chicago Sky, I was helping out managers with bags, rebounding for the best players, picking up trash, y'all, you name it. Now, I didn't necessarily want to do any of those things, but I did it because I wanted to be undeniably great. And at the end of the day, when the coaches took time to recap their day and what they saw in practice, I always wanted them to say nothing but great things about me. Especially as an undrafted rookie, my chances were already slim. They knew I could hoop already. That's why I was there. So I wasn't there to show off my offensive abilities, but I was there to prove to them that I could be whatever they needed me to be. So if you get stuck in your ways and thinking that you're too good for something, always remember that there is someone out there waiting for the opportunity to be unstoppable. So if you don't treat yourself like a certain way, no coach, no team, no agent, and certainly no manager would treat you as such. With greatness comes sacrifice, and with sacrifice comes discomfort. So in the end, always choose situations that will force you to think outside of the box and push you to be a better person and a better athlete. If you're going through this right now, if you have this feeling, know that it doesn't matter where you start, nor does it matter where you finish. But as long as you're competing every single day to be better, you'll always end up on top. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to Athlete Beyond. I truly appreciate the support, but I do need a favor. If you or anyone you know could benefit from Athlete Beyond, please share, comment, like, and subscribe. Your voice matters. And most importantly, I want to hear from you. So let me know if you have any questions or thoughts. Thanks again. See y'all next time.